origins of Bulgari family are to found in a small Greek village situated in the mountain range of Albanian border. This region rich in historical and mythical tradition. Ancient poets and historians such as Homer. It is the land of the river Geron entrance. The family early history, they were then known as Bulav, and their presence in the village of Katkaptus date back to the early part of 19th century. These facts are recorded in the document written by Bulgari on the basis of his father's memories. Colorit's economy was based largely on stock farming. However, this also counted among its inhabitants skilled metal workers whose craft had been handed down by father to son since Byzantine times. In particular, the silversmiths of Coloritz were famous throughout Epirus for their production reminiscent in style of Byzantine artifacts of belts, buckles, buttons, earrings, sword, belts worked in debased silver. The Bulgarian ancestors were among the silversmiths of Coloritz. There is little information on Constantinos and his son Georges. The latter skilled silversmith used to travel Albania to sell his crafts. On one such trip, he met and married Eleni Strougaris at Paramia, where he settled, opening a small shop. They had 11 children, but only one survived. Sotirios, born in 1857, the founder of the Bulgari firm. Sotirios, a lovely, proud, and ambitious boy, spent his youth in Paramia. Little is known of his childhood, though it was apparently a happy one. On those early days, he recalled an excessive love for cakes and sweet syrups, which often got him into trouble with his mother. In addition, he never forgot his first unpleasant and frightening experience. While returning home with a friend from neighboring village, the mountains, he suddenly confronted by two bandits who robbed everything, including his clothes. Sotirios recalls how around 1873 the Turks and Christians agreed to burn down Paramia in order to rebuild it. In the ensuing blaze, the Bulgari shop was destroyed. Georges and Sotirios, later by then trained silversmith himself, left the village and started to work for Albanian local rulers, especially for those who lived in the vicinity of Agoracastro. Father and son never settled in one place, spending at most 1 month in a location before moving on to the next. Sotirios never forgot the bitterly cold winters of the Albanian mountains, of those unsafe areas where he required the protection of Turkish while transporting precious silverware. In 1876, while carrying some of his silver, Sotirios was the victim of an attempted robbery. This particular experience, and in general a feeling of constant precautions, led the Bulgaris to consider the idea of expatriating. The decision was finally taken the following year, largely as a consequence of the outbreak of the conflict between the Russians and the Turks in the Balkans. During this war, the insurrection of the Christians against the Ottomans in the Paramia area was repressed with extreme brutality. The horrors of these events, coupled with the collapse in the silver trade caused by instrumental in prompting the Bulgaris to leave the country. Sotirios never forgot what his father told him when the decision was taken. "Let's go, my son, let's leave this country where life has become impossible, and let us find a land where we can live and work in peace." Towards the end of 1877, Georges Bulgaris, having left his wife with her relatives, set off with Sotirios for Corfu. Here they settled in the spring of 1878. They opened a small shop on the ground floor, integrated in the community of Corfu, and were joined by Eleni. The artifacts produced by Georges and Sotirios in those years, necklaces, bracelets, buckles, and the belts, survive in the Bulgari's family collection. In spite of their relatively comfortable life which Corfu provided, the young, talented, and ambitious Sotirios found it restricting and began to entertain the thought of the moving on. The occasion arose to give a chance acquaintances, Demetrios, Macedonian silversmiths, who remembered Sotirios' skills as business in Rome during the summer month was very quiet. Sotirios sought to capitalize on trade at summer resort. He packed his limited stock and set off to find a suitable location. He settled for St. Moritz, which even at that time was a fashionable mountain resort, where he concluded the summer season very satisfactorily. This success, however, was based on hard work. Sotirios woke up every morning at 5, fusing and casting his silver, which he then chased until late at night in the workshop, which doubled as his home. In 1888, he agreed to an arranged marriage with Eleni, later known as Elena Basios, the 17-year-old daughter of silversmith Kremos, who was en route to Italy, persuaded Young to join him. In the autumn of 1880, they sailed for Brindisi, and proceeded to Naples, where they opened a small shop where they sold their artifacts in silver and plate. Opening while the partners were dining, the shop was broken into. Many other products were stolen as well. This unfortunate event prompted Bulgaris and Cremos to abandon Naples and leave for Rome, where they arrived with only 80 cents of lira. Life was hard at the beginning. Nevertheless, they managed to produce and sell small silver objects, small in front of the French. They caught without a license. They were stopped from trading. This short period, however, was quite profitable, as the two partners had managed to make 200 lira. Their lives picked up when a Greek sponge merchant, certain kidneys, offered to let the two partners display their products at the window of his shop. This outlet was situated at the beginning of the Via Sistina, the present location of the Hasle Hotel. The buckles, buttons sold, and the two partners were able to open their own, and soon their business flourished at 75 Via Sistina. Foreign clientele, their goods were sought after by agreements in particular. This success also led to the first between the two partners. The enterprising parted, setting up his own shop in the spring. Sotirios, the couple settled at 109 Via Sistina, where a year later their first son arrived. After their wedding in Corfu, at the time this ranged from Constantino Giorgio was born. Their second son, Giorgio, which Sotirio was trading, was followed by three daughters, Maria, Athena, and Sophia. A family holiday photography, Sotirio Bulgari and his wife Elena with their two sons, Georgia Constantina, in September 1932. Third son, Spiridon. As business thrived, Sotirio summoned his fellow countrymen and a relative to join him in Rome to help him cope with the increased workload. In 1894, he opened another shop in Rome at 82 Via de Condotti.